All right, boys. So welcome. This is a new episode with Paulo and I for Dental Chronicles. We have Brian from Pac-Dent here joining us tonight. Thank you, Brian. I really
You're
appreciate
welcome.
you
It's
being
my
here with
pleasure.
us. Uh, there's a lot of products that I love the product. Paulo is the one that kind of like initiate me in this. He's always really advocate towards your product. He always talk about passion in this, and he got me hooked. And ever since, I'm being like tinker with it, and I fall in love with it. So as
Well,
you can
well,
see,
Jorg, if I could take a minute, or maybe it'll be a little longer, but I would like to tell you a little bit of a story. I'm an old sage of the dental business. I'm one of those guys that have been everywhere and anywhere. I was at Ivoclar for 16 years when they brought the IPS Empress material to the marketplace. And at that time, lithium disilicate was a new dazzle razzle product, and it, of course, has proved to be the wonderful product that it is in Emacs and so many other applications. Buffalo is, or Amherst, if they want to call it. They don't call it Buffalo because that sounds rude. Uh, but uh, but Buffalo has a
sure.
lot of things that person from the western part of the country goes, really? And there's snow and there's chicken wings and there's the Bills. And after a while, you go where there's the snow and there's the Niagara Falls and there's the Bills. No, I'm going to go. And so we went back to Canada, to be honest. We went back to Vancouver, British Columbia, where I was when I first got into this business.
Okay.
And from there, I got a phone call from my now wife, Pamela. She was the executive assistant to the CEO of Vita or Vident, Wayne Whitehill. And he wanted to meet with me. And so I said, well, that doesn't work. I can't go from apples to oranges. And, that doesn't work. And he said, no, 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 I got another project in mind for you. So I went down to California, and there's a huge difference between California and Amherst. And I said, okay. And so we talked about it, and we ended up opening Vita Canada. That was a wonderful choice. So I was back to Eastern Canada for a while, and I said, this is not what I signed on for. But then he hauled me down to Brea, and that's where I met Pamela. And at any rate, in Brea, I got involved with Dr. Bob Kelly from UConn,
Okay.
from the University of Connecticut, and Doctors Mormon and Brandestini on CEREC. Okay, and we developed the very first Vita block that was made out of alpha porcelain, and that wasn't strong enough. So Dr. Kelly and the gang got all together, and we came up with the Vita block, which was the first CEREC block. And then from there, we went into introducing the new CEREC system, that CEREC 1, CEREC 2, and CEREC 3, and then zirconia, etc. And I had the awesome pleasure of being involved personally in the opening the window for Vita blocks, etc. And also in lab and CEREC itself with Norbert Ulmer. And we trained a lot of people at Vita on the in-lab system. And then after that, I left that company and I went to semi-retired, and my wife told me to go and get a job as a Walmart greeter, and that didn't work too well. And so we went to work for Pac-Dent, which was a mile away from where I lived. And when I got there, Pac-Dent was mainly an OEM company, other manufacturer. They made private label material for a number of companies, Dent Supply, Kerr, uh, Henry Schein, a lot of other people, building materials, etc. So composite materials, I've been in that business for 38, 39 years that I know of. And so they were making, they were making print material for another very, very famous company in the printer business here in California. And I sat down because now I was exposed at Vita to doctors, Dr. Bob Kelly and Dr. Russell Giordano were real true material scientists, really. You can't buy either of them. There's no amount of money in the world that you can buy the reputation of Russell Giordano or Bob Kelly. It doesn't exist. And so, actually, Dr. Giordano is responsible for the EMAX, or no, not EMAX, ENAMIC
Oh,
block.
Enamic.
His, and so that's where we reached out and to people like yourself, Jorgen, people like Paolo, to help us build our new relationships in our team of advocates that we have. We developed Rodin Sculpture as our first project. We knew, and we did our research, we knew that the nano ceramic quality of Rodin sculpture, which is, it had to be it had to be pre-manufactured treated. Okay, it's a trade secret how that's done, but we treat the ceramic particles prior to them being embedded into the resin. So from there, we knew that we had to be 51% or better to be considered a ceramic restoration. Where did we learn all that? From the ADA and Dr. Giordano, who's on. Dr. Russell Giordano is the ISO chairman of the ISO Committee on Dental Materials. And so we learned that. So that was the target. We were the first company in the world, to be honest with you, that had a 51.5% fill rate in our ceramic materials that Rodin Sculpture won, and made it and did a phenomenal job with that. Along came the desire. The problem at this generation, at this point, the problem that we ran into with our material is the curing. You know, I mean, we looked at the different cure systems, and there's cure systems out there that I don't have to tell you about, you know, that are just, some of them are just like fingernail curing units, you know what I'm saying? And believe me, there's some healers of humanity that we all work for that think they're just fine.
They use it.
They use them. But we found that, you know, acrylic, because resin is acrylic, okay? Okay, and so we found the only way to cure resin acrylic was with heat and pressure, okay? So regardless of what you want to talk about, if you look at the auto flash, what is the auto flash? It's a pressure cooker. I don't mean that to sound any more than it is. It's technically a little bit better than that. I mean, I know the owners of auto flash would strap me to the wall and shoot darts at me for saying that. But at the same time, we found that the best curing for nanoceramics was to be done with a auto flash with in a nitrogen environment. Right. But what did that do? That limited us immediately to being able to go to people and say, okay, fine, you just spent a whole bunch of money on your printer and a wash unit and a curing unit, because that's what came with it. But we're saying the curing unit isn't that good. You spent $3,000 more. Well, that's not fun. Okay. So we moved forward, and our chemist Meanwhile, because regardless of how maybe calm you see me tonight, I've got Italian blood in me, Paulo, and Italians are not quiet. They
No, we're not.
no, and we're emotionally unstable.
I don't believe that. Paul is the most chill person I ever met in my whole life.
I tell you,
Because I'm a mix.
yeah, we have. I tell you, we have their weekly meetings of the entire staff, and they all say, "Oh no, Brian's here." No, because I'm just very, very demonstrative. Let's put it that way. I don't like, we're not, I always say, we're not having a meeting to have another meeting. We're having a meeting to make decisions. Oh, let's do it. And everybody's ducking underneath the desk. But let's carry on with the story. So we came along and we developed Rodin Sculpture 2.0, which is a very highly filled resin, 60% filled, some of which is lithium disilicate, some of which is, in fact, zirconia.
Yep.
Some of which is other ceramic material, okay? So why did we do that? We needed a stronger material for the posterior region of the mouth. We felt we needed stronger material. We knew that Sculpture 1 was very translucent, very nice for the anterior. Sculpture 2.0 was more highly filled for the posterior region because it was classified that you could use it for a full crown, for full crowns. So we were happy with that. But then along came guys like Paulo and yourself that said, we'd like to have you make a product for All on X. Okay. What happens? And this is information that I didn't know. The healers of humanity like to put 4 screws or more in the upper jaw or the lower jaw, and they put a denture over top of it and screw in the implants. They think that the jaw doesn't move after that. I knew you laugh, Paula, but they do.
I know they do. That's the unfortunate part.
But and the jaw does move. ever so slightly, but it does move. Okay. And we had to develop Titan. The reason we developed Titan was because a gentleman by the name of Dr. Ferguson, Dr. Rick Ferguson,
yep,
who's a very good, wonderful friend as well, said to us, you need to have just a little tiny bit of elongation in that material. So lo and behold, our guys went ahead and made some test material for him, and that turned into Rodin Sculpture. Well, right now, Rodin Sculpture Titan, excuse me.
I think the great thing was when Paul and I team up and got together, and I think it was Real Guy was one of the software, and his background doing like the surgical planning. I came on board doing from the CAD side, like more of the design aspect, and ever since I think we linked up, and then we always call each other when, most of it I call them, bug him all the time when I have questions, because I'm like,
oh, don't worry, I call you too.
Hey,
I'm on the same way. I was like,
how many dentures does the average dental student graduate having made?
A dentist, you mean? Or a technician?
I know a dentist.
As far as I
know, not a lot.
Dentists barely scrape on that. And correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody's probably gonna.
UCLA, USC, they have 2 denture patients in their entire training. 2.
But I know technicians has to go through like the wax up, the dentures. They have to do basically all of the above, right?
So, okay, so if you stop there and think to yourself, I don't care if they did 5, still nothing. Okay. And I look at it and say, okay, now these people are now faced with an opportunity. Everybody's screaming about implants, which is basically woodworking 101. They basically don't, they go to a weekend course put on by Noble BioCare or BioHorizons or somebody, okay? And they go to a weekend course and take 2 days, and 1 day a lecture, and 1 day of screwing into a pig's bone or something of that nature. And they then go home and they're gonna now become an implant guy? I don't think so, okay? That's why, I mean, some are smart enough, but what do you call the guy that graduated last in his dental school class?
Radiologist.
Doctor. Really, that's the problem.
And I think we have this conversation in the last podcast where we were discussing how our doctors being trained the proper way, or they're coming out of school with the education and qualifications to do certain things within, especially with implants. I think that's what our main topic was for our last episode. So on this one, based on dentures, right? I think it's less doctor side, because I don't think schools are teaching doctors how to use CAD. I'm because with dentures, 3D printing, the game is changing. There's no more wax. There's barely acrylic. I will share, right before the end of the video, like some of the dentures that we print with Pac-Dent. I mean, I use your product for all my cases, live cases, not just tests. These are live cases, and these are patients that are wearing them, and then they're like giving me feedback and telling me like, it fits great. I like this. I don't like this. And then so on that note, I don't think a lot of doctors. I think the main is, how did the doctors get trained?
I'm an old guy. There's so many stories I can tell you. You
We're
wouldn't
definitely
even.
gonna have to do this another episode with you. That's learning from you for sure.
Number 2.
Yes,
It's so funny. It's so funny. Okay, well, no.
On this note, Brian, we have Pac-Dent has a couple events coming up on Chicago, right? We have some of our experts are teaching some of the classes. I know Paul is one of them. We got 2 more or 3 more, I believe.
I think there are, I think 2 more.
Whatever they want, they just let me know. I'll get it to them.
No. You guys, Pac-Dent is hosting some educational classes.
We have a guy that's doing stain and glaze. He lives in Chicago. For us, he's doing a stain and glaze course. Paulo's doing an event for us. He's doing a lecture, and he's doing something with Zon, I think. Are you not? Yeah,
I am. Yes.
You're also doing something for Siga, is that right?
That's correct.
Yeah. Okay. We have Eugene Rosenkratz speaking. We have who else is speaking?
I think it's one more.
Yeah, there's one more. I should. Come on.
I'll be able to share it.
At any rate, I'll send it to you. Okay.
Yeah, I'll look it up too, actually.
Yeah.
You have Dr. Mark Chan.
Oh yeah, Mark. No, he's not a doctor. He's a denturist, actually.
Oh, a denturist. That's it. That's it. I saw DD and I automatically said DMD.
Yeah. He's from Canada, actually.
Okay.
He's smart. Now, I want to ask another question of you guys. How many partials do you do?
Partials?
Not a ton.
I do quite a bit. I mean, I do a handful. Let me share some of these products that we have from you guys.
Oh,
Can you guys see
that was so good.
screens?
Yes.
All right, so here is a denture. This thing was printed Titan base. I'm sorry, denture based Rodin Titan a necklace. This thing works awesome. This was actually an original denture that doctor requested it to please copy. He copied the exact same, and it came out great. I mean, I couldn't. I,
Look at it, read it, please.
so yeah, so we got a lot of this was another denture that I did for and then this is Polo's video too. This is direct to MUAs, upper lowers, immediate for immediate surgery.
Make it bigger? Can you make it bigger? Yours, mine is just a tiny little thumbnail.
So I will send you guys. I will share you guys. Polo should receive these already, but again, this is 10 out of 10. This is the same. I love the finish. All of these ones are made direct to MUAs, and this is the product that I was telling you, Brian, the Titan base. So it's basically the Titan denture base with the Rodin Titan on top, and then the strength and the lightweight is just unbelievable. So
perfect.
I know for sure with Polo we're gonna have some of our. Thank you so much for this. This is great.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
This was awesome. Thank you.
We definitely gonna do
don't do anything I wouldn't do, and if you do, send me the video.
I will definitely send you the video tomorrow. You know, Polo, we definitely gonna do part 2 with Binnie.
Yep.
We learned so much from you, my friend.
Definitely.
All right. Anytime, my friend. Anytime. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Bye for now. Bye now.
Bye now. Take care.
Bye.
Bye, Polo.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.